we're really working hard to encourage parents to be the ones to communicate certain very key life issues with their children, to their children. It was in the age or era of the global HIV and AIDS pandemic. And it was necessary for parents, as at any time, including now, to be the ones to provide sexuality education to their children for so many reasons. And those are still the same reasons where we say on the slow parenting program that you are in the best place to be the educator of your children regarding your culture, your tradition, your family values, your family etiquettes or cultural etiquettes, as the case might be. Okay, it hasn't changed. Okay, social issues might change. Things that get to be in the front burner of social discourse or social concern might change from time to time. Climate, right now, for those of us who've been used to following this program, I would usually put a blazer on. It's so hard to, it's so hard that even the authorities issue heat warnings, almost on a daily basis now uh, in Montreal, here in Quebec. Okay. And I'm sure it's so for quite a number of other cities across this part of the world. Uh, and then some people say there's nothing like global warming. Well, that's not our topic for today, but I'm just saying that things change. Okay. And as things change, you are supposed to remain, you are and should be and supposed to be the custodian of information that relate to your culture, your tradition, your family values, family etiquettes, and the legal codes of the society in which you reside to and with your children. Okay, so in that sense, in the exchange of such information and in the course of such trainings, things will happen. Things will happen between you and your children. Nice, not so nice. Good, okay, let's go the bad, the good, the bad, the ugly. Yes, you have the good, the bad, the ugly. The ugly part of it is when you get to that stage or that point with a child that is like, where has this one come from? Not in the sense that there's a question about the child's paternity or whatever, but in terms of the behavior of the child. Certainly not from your family. You look around and say, where did this behavior come from? But while you're busy debating that, well, that individual would have chosen a path. That is the focus of our talk in this episode. The temptation to say, I quit. Before we go too far, let me put you on notice that I have said so in one occasion, or one instance, myself. And another parent who had read 7.5 Temptation and read The Half But Not the Least, wrote me and said, Richie, excuse me, what did you just, I had XYZ happened, and you said someone is not your child anymore. Well, are you not the one who wrote 7.5 Temptation and encourage parents and talk to parents to say, okay, pray, be patient? I say, yes, go back and read the same book. As at the time I wrote that, the child in question who are very close. Was just about 2, not even 3 years just at that time. But many years down the road, things happen. And a lot of contributions already. We've not even really gone into the program. But I would make this disposition, or rather, yeah, I would make my point here before we go into looking at the contributions or questions from community members. My point then, in that book, in that chapter, then my point till now, without knowing that it's a decision or it's something that I would ever contemplate. It didn't look like it. There was nothing to tell me, nothing, absolutely nothing. Not in my relationship with my children, not my family profile, nothing prepared me for that. But there I was counseling and admonishing parents. It's okay. But in that same book, in that same chapter, I told that person, I responded to that person who said, are you not the one who said, parents? I said, please go back and read the same chapter. Because in that same chapter, it's a book. And that's one thing about documentation. That's one thing about books. That's probably one of the reasons why I love to write, and I'll keep writing on development issues, human relationship issues. I said then in that book, it's still there, that in spite of and despite your best efforts at building an interactive relationship with your children, at communicating interactively, at being open, at being sincere, at providing for them, at doing all that you probably supposed to do, that there would always be that one child who would choose to go left while others have gone the right to say go right. Then I said in that book, please, yes, I did say you need a lot of patience. Yes, you do. To review the issues and ask questions, interrogate the individual, have conversations with the individual, review against the backdrop of your family values, culture, tradition, etiquettes, and the boundaries you've set as a family as they are growing up. Please, where is this coming from? Give opportunities for individuals to rethink. But when they take their stance at going left, you need to take your stand also at protecting your mental health. The issue of mental health wasn't front burner, in literature, in parenting, in the 90s. At least not as much as it is now. So there was no talk, I did not mention protect your mental health in the first edition of that book. Oh, it is in there now big time as it's been reviewed. Because you would have invested, you must have invested, you would invest so much emotionally in your relationship with your children that sometimes when certain things happen in that relationship, it impacts on you terribly as a parent, that you might end up in places you didn't think you could ever end up. I did. So it's really part of what has brought me to have a review about my experiences, about things I've seen, I've witnessed, places I've been, people I've met, kind of relationships, to come to a conclusion that my experiences, I don't, I don't think, I've come to conclude that they are not meant for just me. Nice ones, not so nice ones, painful ones, terrible ones, I can share. Oh, all right, that, okay. Um, you might want to consider, because I've been on that bus, I've been on that route. They might not be 100% the same for everybody, but parenting is parenting. Your children are your children. But when certain decisions are taken by your children that challenge everything you stand for, everything you have brought them up to stand for, and they choose to go against them in spite of your entreaties, your counseling, your cautioning, please safeguard your mental health. Safeguard your well-being. Okay? I'm not saying safeguard your well-being as you relate with your children. Be open, be free, throw in everything. Don't hold anything back. But are the specific junctures in your relationship with them as they grow, not when they are babies. No, we're not talking about. It's at that time when somebody will tell you, "I'm old enough. I'm no longer a baby." Really? And we're talking about major life issues and decisions. You remind the individual, this is who we are. You've been reminding those children, including that individual, of this is who we are. Through your actions, through your speeches, through your relationships with them, with others. They see you. We've said severally on this program that your children want to be first. So when you now have that one who doesn't want to look anything like you, I mean, like who you are in your family, culturally, traditionally, and first, I'm repeating myself here deliberately. First, draw the individual's attention, that child's attention. That now grown adult who now feels that I'm no longer a baby. Draw that person's attention to who you are again. Give that individual an opportunity to rethink and retrace their steps. If they insist, like in my own case, there was an insistence, there was a going on to embrace an action that, no, culturally, traditionally, nowhere in my family or any other families, normal families, that you will now have a child say, behaving that way. It's a pronouncement, it's a statement. So you two have to make your own pronouncement, make your own statement, take your own actions. That somebody says, oh, no, I can take care of myself. You need to take care of yourself. Don't lose your head over any child. Oh, I have my life to live. You have your life to live as a parent. Don't be bitter. It's not about being bitter. No. You remember, maybe in the course of the program, when you get to see the video, we are not changed from any of those. We have not changed from the things we said in 7.5 Temptation, even in the half, but not the least. Pray. Continue to pray for the child, your children. Pray for them. Generally, and individually. But then protect your well-being. Protect your mental health. Because if you flip, it's you that's gone. The child will continue with his or her life. And then remember, I told you I have my life to live. You have your life to live. Guard your well-being. Guard your mental health. Yes, this episode today is for you, parents, about where have I gone? What didn't I do right? Where have I gone wrong? How could this happen? How am I going to cope with this? How am I going to survive this? No. You will cope, you will survive. Your coping mechanisms must start with engaging with that child. Okay? To review the issues at stake and restate your culture, your tradition, your family values, your family etiquette, and say, this is not the way. If you insist on following this path, these are going to be the consequences. Just like in the case of setting up family values, sort of boundaries. See, these are going to be the consequences if you do this instead of this. Okay? Let it be known. Then watch. That's the most you can do. Watch and pray. But again, I say, guard your well-being. Protect your mental health. Okay? With that, welcome again to the program. If you like, that's like an intro. And then we're going into looking at what our community members are saying over the issue of wanting to quit. If you like, a decision or a pronouncement that reads like disowning a child. Yes. Heavy word, right? But then when you arrive at issues that could get you still engage, still discourse, and leave individuals to make up their minds. You be prepared to make up your own mind. Are you willing to break tradition, break values, break culture to indulge an individual who could have done otherwise, who could have listened, who could have followed a path of your family values, your culture, your tradition? I won't, and I won't encourage you to. So, welcome again. Let's take the first contribution from a community member here. How do I stay patient when my child says something intentionally hurtful and I feel disrespected in my own home? Your own home. Saying things disrespectful and intentionally hurtful can still be remedied. They can still be remedied by mom, dad, I am sorry. There are things that mom, dad, I'm sorry will not cut. Okay? But let's start with this one here. How do you stay patient? Draw the child's attention to how it makes what has been said, what has been done makes you feel. Have that discussion. It's possible the child is copying something he or she must have seen somewhere. It might not be from your family. Interrogate the situation. Interrogate the situation. Interrogate the behavior, the reasons for the behavior. Probe to know what would have led. Are those the kind of ways you talk with yourselves at home? Is it a trend in your family? If it's not a trend in your family, probe to find out where that is coming from and call it out and correct it. If it now continues apply the boundaries that you must have set concerning communicating and relating with others in the family. Apply the consequences. You owe that child that discussion. The child owes you that discussion to know where that behavior would have come from and call it out for what it is. Say, no, this is not who we are. Okay? And find out what maybe you would have done that would warrant maybe such treatment or such statement. Deal with it then. Hmm? You need patience to be able to take all of those steps. If you go with the flow of how you feel, remember what we said about punishing reactions. Don't react when you're angry. Don't punish, don't discipline, don't discipline when you are angry, when you're still hot from something said or something done. Calm down and then engage the individual, the child involved. Have that conversation and resolve it. Okay? You are still the mother, the father. Play that role. Play the role of the adult and engage, discuss. Okay? Another community member here say, is it okay to say I don't enjoy parenting? Mm. Is it okay to say I don't like going to work? Saying it is one thing. Not doing it is another thing. You don't go to work, there's no paycheck. There's no paycheck. You can't pay your bill. You don't enjoy parenting. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about it. You still have to parent. You can't give your children away. Although some do that, they're thinking that I've escaped something. They have not, they do not, they've never escaped anything. Movies abound of young people, individuals who had babies and then for one reason or the other gave away those babies. And later in life, movies, several, I can, no particular title quite readily comes to mind. And they begin to regret for so many other reasons also. When later in life, when those children would have grown up and all of that, for so many reasons. I don't want to go into any particular one. Okay, so you cannot stop parenting. Look, the how but not list is about the behavior of a particular child, any particular child. Outright rebellion, if you like. Okay? Occasional disrespect that you can call out, like the first contributor mentioned or made. You can cope with those, deal with them, and move on. Okay? So, but that's the first part of that question. First, I would say, is it okay to say I don't enjoy parenting? And is it okay to say I don't enjoy working? You can't, you might not enjoy working, but you got to work because you got to work to get a paycheck. Even if it's your own business, you still have to get a paycheck. You still have to get paid from your customers, your client that you provide some services or products to be able to do some other things that you need to do in life. So you need to train your children to prepare them for life. So that's why we say parenting is a full-time, lifetime job, best performed by a team. And that team is the partners that have those babies, father, mother. It must remain a team. It's much more effective if it's performed as a team. Okay? Two of you cannot feel like quitting the same time. Or like, I don't want to shut, I don't like parenting. If you don't like certain aspects, find out the ones that your partner likes. So share the response. You don't like talking about certain things, or you feel uncomfortable talking about, like uncomfortable, well, okay, discuss it with your partner, discuss it with your spouse, and share the responsibility. That's why the team works, needs to work, must work for your parenting jobs to be successful. Okay? And that still hasn't, the question hasn't finished. It still says, uh, I have, wow, I have triplets, and their father passed away shortly after their birth. Everyone says children are a blessing, but right now, they feel like a burden. I can feel you. Okay? But if economic challenges, as heavy as they are probably, they may be probably not the heaviest parts of parenting challenges. I'm not downgrading, your concerns about having to bring up triplets. One is headache, well, not headache. One is challenging enough. Not to talk of three at the same time, and then your partner is no more. Yes, it would be a burden, especially if you don't have the necessary psychosocial support around you that could help you to take care of those children. So I feel you, but then look at their faces when they are smiling. Let it give you joy. Don't stop. Okay? Be strong. Can only encourage you. Be strong. Look around you. If we know where you are speaking from, you can send us a mail. If we know where you're speaking from, we probably might be able to link you with some support groups that will be able to help you in one area or the other. Okay? So you are not alone. Parenting is a thing of joy. But then it's also a challenge. And anyone who's going through it or who's gone through it, well, is there anything like gone? You don't gone. You're continuing in it one way or the other. Okay? So we feel you, but don't give up. Okay? Don't look at the joyous parts of it. Look at their faces. Feel good about it. You have three. Cool. Prayerfully, you will bring them up to be the best versions of themselves that God has created them to be. Okay? Thank you for sharing. How can parenting problems be solved? Which one? Which one? You didn't. How can parenting problems be solved? There are plenty parenting problems. We just in this episode, we are talking about the parenting problem of your child deliberately deciding to go against your culture, your tradition, your family values. Okay? And now, let me, look, this is an unfiltered program. I don't, of course, if you've been a part of this, you will know that I don't hold things back. I share experiences with my mother growing up, cooking, and all of that. Okay? Now, so I stop talking as if I'm talking in private. The challenging problem, the parenting problem we are talking about here is that problem that gets you to the point of saying, I quit. I'm no longer your father. I'm no longer your mother. Yeah? I used to have it. It's not funny to say, but then it is what it is. I had a child who, when you do get to read any of my parenting books, I talked about my children as they were growing up, my relationship with them, which were real, not fictitious. Okay? And this child grew, went to school, finished school, went to university, finished university, went to the law school, finished law school. I'm not in Nigeria. I'm in far away, thousands of kilometers away from home, not by choice, really. And I was looking forward to when they would join me. I did everything I should do, got the documentations for them to join me here. With her participation, with her cooperation, she was one of that. This thing is taking too long. When is it going to? I'm tired of being here. Okay, okay. And at the point at which the government of Canada graciously said, okay, we give your children permanent resident status, they can come and join you. Somebody now calls me to say, Richie, I thought you said your children are joining you. I said, yes, they're just finishing their documentation and all. They will soon be. I said, I saw on Facebook somebody says he's married the other. I said, which my daughter? Well, which one? I said, that's my first daughter is married. That's not the problem. She's with her husband. I said, no, it's not that one. Who? I probed, I interrogated, I investigated, I counseled, I cautioned. I didn't have the foggiest idea about whoever the individual involved was, not the individual, not the family, not a phone call, not a text message, nothing, nothing. I called the young woman involved. As a matter of fact, I asked the elder sister to set up a meeting between herself, myself, and her younger brother. So that I said, I want to speak with your sister to the hearing of the two of you. Excuse me, ma, where is this story coming from? Oh, first I asked, how often do we speak? Said that, well, at least once every week. I said, well, good. Have you ever said to me that somebody wants to say hello to you? Said, no. Have you ever said that I know you don't pick strange calls? See this number. You might receive a call from it. Please take it. No. Where is this madness coming from? At the end of that discussion, everybody, the sister, the brother, and I said, look, now let's get this straight. You have an abuse. Still, I will take it that nothing happened. I didn't hear nothing. Okay? I think this is just something flying. Yeah? It's AI. Okay? Finish your documentation, join your brother, arrive in Canada, pick up your permanent resident documents. You can go back and do whatever you want to do. But if you choose to continue on that path, this might probably be the very last time you will hear my voice, not to talk about see my face. Because this is unheard of in our family. It is a taboo in our culture. What it means is that I am dead to you. So that's the story. So that's the parenting problem. That's my half, but not the least. Me, I wrote the book. I encourage you, but he got to that point, and why am I asking you to guard your well-being? Why am I asking you to protect your mental health? Because I broke down. I did. So it's not a joke. This is not play. It's not fiction. It's not AI stuff. It's not play acting at all. I did break down. I couldn't function for like 3 months. Okay. And I had to take a decision. Of course, it was not easy. The decision taken was part of not being able to function. How's this going to work? Is this possible? But then, yeah, it has nothing to do with unforgiving spirit. No, it has nothing to do with bitterness. No. Forgiving people is not the same thing or doesn't mean you give the same people the opportunities to hurt you again. That's where the issue of guarding your well-being and protecting your mental health come to play. If you forgive people, move on with your life. For your own sake, actually, you should forgive people and move on. But then it's not the same as, okay, that person has chosen that path. Who said the person won't do well? What's crazier? What else could happen in this case? Well, long story short, they went ahead, did what they planned to do, and somebody called me on the day they were having whatever the ceremony. Dr. Richie, where are you? We've been looking for you. I said, looking for me where? He said, well, your daughter. I said, which daughter? I don't have any such daughter anymore. He said, but what do you mean? You're here, we're here. I said, no, I knew nothing about that. I'm not involved. I'm not part of that. So it's not an easy position to be in. It's not an easy decision to take. But the key thing here is that you need to guard your well-being, protect your mental health. Yes. Okay. So that's the problem. You say, how can parenting problems be solved? That's a huge parenting problem. I've just told you how I managed to be here to still be able to talk with you. And there's no double standard. There's none. There's not double standard. There's no do as I say and not as I do. No. I followed all the steps I have encouraged you to follow. I'm not saying, oh, that's what you must do. Or if you feel you can cope and bend and break who you are, that's your decision. I won't. They say if you don't stand up for something, you will fall for anything and everything. Okay, so let's move on to the next community members contribution. Well, the person says, so true. Let's see what. Many parents destroy their lives and well-being because of wasting energy on children that don't want to change, sometimes even until it kills them. Yes. I can share a few here, but that will take the rest of our program. Yes. I was lucky. I mean, I just bless God. It was not funny. Emotionally, physically, relationally, it was not funny. It's not. It's not as if you've had issues, you've had problems. No. If it's there have been tension, there have been, and I was looking forward to, oh, my children will soon join me and then I won't be alone. I'm fine. Beautiful. No, they messed that up with now all the attendant immigration issues that have now grown out of it, including affecting her brother eventually. Okay? Some parents don't survive. Okay? I say it's only some kind of people. I don't want to use any of my program. It's only some kind of people that want to learn from their own experiences. Say, wise people learn from the experiences of others. That's why I'm sharing mine. That's why I've always shared my experiences. I'm not saying they are the best or they are the worst. Well, there are what I can share. They're what I have. They're the experiences I have. I can go to ask AI a scenario. Please tell me a story about certain scenario so that I can use for my program. No, I don't. I talk about things I've experienced or I've watched others experience or that others have shared with me about their own experiences about particular issues or issues I've investigated in the course of my work and I know about them. They're not fiction. They're not double standard. Don't kill yourself over any child. But children are precious. Isn't that a little okay? It's not a tongue twister. What is the golden rule for parenting? Golden rule. Parenting. I wish I did well for us here at the Slow Parenting Program. Our golden rule is that parenting is a full-time, lifetime job, best performed by a team, the couple that had the babies. Okay, write that down. That's for us here at the Slow Parenting Podcast program. That's our golden parenting rule. Okay. Another community member here said one major challenge for parents is balancing work, family, and leisure. How can this be achieved? Well, first, I would encourage this community member to go to our YouTube channel. Okay. Um, we have a particular episode that we called They Want You Whole. Okay. They Want You Whole. And we suggested ways by which you can work smart so you could parent smart. You don't use up all your energy at work. You balance, well, the word here is how could you do that balance? We discussed that in an episode of the Slow Parenting podcast. But here, let's just maybe revisit some of the issues. Now, there's a reason why we've been, encouraging or maintaining that parenting is best done by a team. The couple had the children. Okay. Now, share the load. Okay. Intentionally pick your jobs, the things you engage in, so that there would always be somebody who would be there for the children. I have a cousin. Okay. I'm sure the example I'm going to give now, the number of people watching this, viewing this, would be familiar with that. They will know some people who that's probably their routine as well. I have a cousin. Both of them are in the nursing profession, the husband, the wife. As their children were growing up, what they did was to agree that one person should do a day shift, one person should do a night shift. But sometimes some professions, some individuals might not have such luxuries to be able to choose. But if you work at it, you would find something that will suit your family. Both of them agree, so that one of them was always at home, was always available for their children as they were growing up. Right now, their children are all grown. But that time, somebody was always available to prepare the children for school. And by the time that person is getting ready to go to work, the other person is returning from work. Sometimes they even meet at the doorway. Sometimes, well, the person that's going to work in the morning might still be at home and they just see themselves a little bit before it goes off. And the one at home might, that just came back might be the one to get the children to the school bus, or the one going might be the one dropping them off in school and then continue with work. The one that had just returned from the night shift is there at home when the children will come back from school. Okay, so when it now comes to issues of leisure, you also then plan. Okay? If it's not possible, if it's not possible that all of you go on vacation, go on a trip, you agree on who is going to be with the children. On a personal note, I explored all of the options I just given you. I've always been self-employed. Okay? As tough as that is, not my sound, it is tough. Okay? As tough as that is, it meant that I have certain control, I had control over certain aspects of, my time, my days, but it also meant that I had to do more, move around more to, well, make things happen for my business. But it came when the children started arriving. I took the decision to cut down on my own personal travels, even official ones. Okay, so that I could be, because I work for myself. Their mother worked for third parties, worked for other people, which meant she had no control over her time, as it were, regarding when to be in an office and when to leave the office. So you work as a team. That way, you will find some time, you will find some relief, you will find some covering for yourselves and for your children. It takes planning, it takes cooperation. Parenting is not a 100-meter race, it's not a competition, it's not I'm the best, I'm the one the children love, I'm the one the children like, I'm the one they like to listen. No, parenting has to be about two partners doing what that word says, partnering for the sake of your children and for the sake of yourselves. Okay. Now, we've gotten so carried away by responding to community members. The program is almost ended and we've not played our video. So we're going to pause now, please, and play the video. The technical people just reminded me of that. Sorry, guys. All right. So we're going to pause now to watch the video for this episode. And when I come back, we'll round up. Okay. Thank you so much.
Dear parents, watch till the end. Because even when you feel like giving up, your breakthrough as a parent might be one choice away. There are days parenting feels like a gift. There are days it feels like a burden. When your children talk back, when they break your trust, when they say, "I hate you," or even raise their hand against you, something inside you snaps. And if you have ever thought, "That one, she is not my daughter," or "I wish I could just resign from being a parent," you are not the only one. But here's how to hold on. 1. Accept that parenting is a lifetime job. This would help you adjust your expectations, not abandon your post. 2. Drink a full cup of patience. In 7.5 Temptations Parents Face, the last chapter of the book titled The Half But Not the Least, Dr. Richie Adewusi writes a simple but important statement. As a parent, patience is what you need. This keeps you grounded when emotions threaten to take over. 3. Return to the joy of their arrival. Think back to the moments your children were born. It reminds you of the bigger picture, not just today's pains. 4. Pray serious prayers. Parents need to know that in spite of all their efforts at bringing their children up the right way, there may be that one child that will go against all your teachings, family, and societal norms as a rebel. Pray for such children and pray for yourselves, because as parents, you have the responsibility to protect and safeguard your mental health. 5. Do something positive about the temptations that affect you. When you feel like walking away, choose a small act of love instead. A kind word, a gentle touch, or a moment of connection. This helps you grow through the struggle, not give up because of it. No parent gets it right all the time. But no child benefits from a parent who checks out. Stay engaged, stay grounded, stay loving, even when it's hard. Share this with a parent who feels like they're at their limit. Comment, like, follow. Subscribe to the Slow Parenting podcast and stay tuned for more parenting tips and advice. Not just hacks, but heart.
Okay, welcome back. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Like I said, my team members, oh, they make me look uh, good even when I'm misbehaving. Like, how could I have uh, not um, given them the opportunity to play the video? I hope you find the video useful. Hope you find it informative. Go back and view it as many times as you like. Share it. You can send it across to any friend, colleague, family member that might be having challenges in this area. Okay, like we said, we have so many of such videos at the YouTube channel. If you go to the Slow Parenting Podcast YouTube channel, you'll find such videos. Once again, please support us, support this program, subscribe, share, uh, engage by liking, by telling other people about it, and also encouraging them to subscribe. Okay, my name is still Richie Adewusi. This is still the Slow Parenting Podcast. We come your way every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. Feel free to leave your comments, even when we are upstream at our YouTube channel or at any of our other social media handles. And then you can be sure we will respond, to your comments or your questions or your concerns on any issue areas as far as parenting is concerned. So thank you so much for being part of our show today. And thank you guys, team, for reminding me of the video. We almost blew that one today. Okay. See you again next episode. Thank you. Bye-bye.